Hey guys, Coach Ryan from Forge Performance here, and today we're going to go over the PAILS and Rails stretching series for the hamstring. A couple things to note about this stretching series is you're going to make sure that you are using either a rack like I have, or you're going to set up in a doorway, because what we're going to have is one leg is going to be propped up along the rack or the door, and the other leg wants to lie straight out in front of me. Now, in this bottom leg, we're gonna make sure that that toe is pointing straight up to the ceiling. So this leg down here, can't see it in the video, but this leg down here, toe is straight up to the sky. We're gonna keep this leg as straight as we can. If you need to have a little bit of a bend in it, you can do so. It might even help to have a rolled up towel underneath that knee. That way you have some support behind this bottom leg here. Top leg, toes are gonna be flexed back toward your nose. Soft bend in the front leg here. We don't want to have it completely straight because most times that's going to hit the calf rather than the hamstring. So allow a soft bend in that knee against that doorway. And all we're going to do is we're going to make sure our lower back is nice and flat into the ground. And in this position, we're just going to start taking nice deep breaths, making sure, again, this toe is straight up in the air. Big breath in. Think about breathing into that belly. And then as we breathe out, we're just going to start inching our way further and further towards the door, making sure that this knee bend doesn't get greater. Okay, we're almost thinking about pushing that foot up the doorway. Big breath in. And again, we're just inching forward as we get more and more flexible. Now, as this leg continues to get further and further back, don't compromise this bottom foot. I don't want to see this bottom foot turn out. Make sure that toe stays straight to the sky the whole time. We're just going to hold that for a minute. So let's go another 30 seconds here. Big breaths. Trying to get a little bit more out of that stretch. This is about the maximum that I'm going to get here. So I'm going to hold it. Another 15 seconds. Should feel that stretch behind the belly of the hamstring. If you're feeling it behind the knee, chances are that leg is a little too straight. Just give it a little soft bend and that should open things up into that hamstring a little bit more. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to push this top foot heel into the rack. Okay, so we're just going to provide some light tension at first. As you do that, you should start to feel your hamstring tighten up a little bit. What I want to make sure you don't do is don't arch or lift your butt off the ground. Make sure that core stays engaged, the back stays flat, and the bottom leg stays straight. We're providing some light tension here. Now we're gonna ramp it up a little bit more. Now as hard as we can, we're gonna push for 10 seconds. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Go, 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 go. And then take a big breath out, relax into that stretch. Try to sneak yourself a little bit more forward. One more time, we're gonna do that same sequence. So toe is flexed back, soft bend in the knee still. Go ahead and start pushing down into that rack. Now give me a little bit more tension. Now a little bit more tension. And now as hard as you can, and drive that heel into the rack or into your doorway. Push, push, make sure this bottom leg, toe stays straight up. Push, push, and then relax. Sneak into that stretch as much as you can. Big breath out here. Awesome. Now maintaining this position, if we can, we're going to maintain this stretch position that we've gained. And now we're going to go through some active leg lifts with this top leg here. Again, making sure that this toe is pointing straight up to the ceiling, making sure that the lower back is nice and flat on the ground. We're going to drive this leg, this bottom leg here, down into the ground, and we're going to drive this top leg back. And all we're going to look for is a lift off. So we're going to brace, lift, and control back to the rack. Now, as you bring it back down, I don't want it slamming into that doorway or rack. It should be controlled. Brace again, lift, and control. Each time we lift, we're just trying to go a little bit further. Lift and control. That's 3, give me 2 more. Lift and control. On this last one, we're gonna hold it for 10 seconds. All right, let's make it burn. Ready? Lift, hold, hold, drive it, keep going, keep going, keep going. 3, 2, 1, and then control down. Nice deep breath and relax. Then we're slowly gonna come out of that stretch. Move yourself to the other side of the doorway, and let's go through the other leg. Now I have my leg looped over the top of the rack here, so I'm gonna cheat on this side a little bit. But again, this bottom leg should be completely straight on the floor, okay? But for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna go through it as such, okay? So we're providing some light tension into that stretch. Again, belly of the hamstring, this knee is slightly bent. This leg, toe is pointing straight up in the air. We don't wanna see this foot rolled out to the side this way. Again, make sure that toe is straight up and down. Go ahead and start sitting into that stretch for a minute, making sure that lower back is flat on the ground. And every time we breathe out, we're just going to inch ourselves a little bit further. Make sure as you inch further that the stretch stays in the back of the belly of the hamstring. You don't want too much behind the knee or in the calf. If we do, it just means we got to have a little softer bend in that knee. Every time we breathe out, we're trying to inch a little bit closer. Push that heel up the wall. Keep on breathing into it. Okay. Now, go ahead and brace yourself into the floor. We're gonna start providing that tension into the rack. So now that we've been holding for about a minute, we're gonna start driving that heel forward into the rack, okay? So take a breath in, provide that light tension. Now a little bit more, now a little bit more. Now drive as hard as you can, push, 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 keep going, keep cranking it up, keep going, 3, 2, 1, and then breathe and relax into that stretch. Try to inch yourself a little bit closer, push that foot up the rack or the doorway. Feel that stretch come all the way through the hamstring. Make sure those toes are not pointed forward, make sure they're pulled back toward your face. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and provide that light tension again, pushing the heel into the rack. Now a little bit more, now a little bit more. Now drive as hard as you can, go, give me 10 seconds here, push, 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax into that stretch. As we're providing that tension into the rack and in the doorway, you might feel your hips want to encourage to lift off the ground. We're going to fight that. We're going to make sure that that hip stays on the floor the entire time, okay? Now, we're going to do our lift off. So we're going to brace into the ground. We're going to take a shallow breath, lift, and then control. Lift, and then control. And now if you find, like I have with this leg, that we're gaining a lot of lift off, we're gonna move a little bit closer. Make it more challenging. Lift. Last 2, lift. Control. And again, on this last one, we're gonna hold it for 10 seconds. Go ahead and lift, hold, 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 keep going. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Control to the rack. Ease on out of that stretch. And there you have it, guys. That's our Pails and Rails hamstring series, okay? Again, a couple of big pointers. Make sure that lower back stays flat. Make sure the hips and the tailbone stay flush against the ground the whole time. We don't want that butt to lift up during that stretch. And make sure whatever leg is out straight on the ground, that toe stays straight up in the air the entire time. Get after it.